Hi, Skip here. I'm coming at you once again. I want to pick up on the last video a little bit. We talked about why all this, why building a foundation, what's that about? Build the foundation and then the building. But if you try to go in the middle and skip ahead and put together the building and then try to build the foundation later, you're behind the eight ball. People want to get into business. They want to do it efficiently. You don't want to take longer than you really have to take. But if you don't take long enough, you're going to come up short. You need to take the time to prepare yourself, your understanding, do the training and education, do some comparative shopping online, whatever it takes to draw the comparisons and know. I've taught a course that has made a company that I worked with for about 9 years, literally made them millions of dollars with a core concept. Very simple. Everybody I trained, we started out with this thought: what's the difference? Where's the value? What's the difference? Where's the value? So what's the difference? In this case, you are going to be a big part of the difference yourself. We're going to start with you. You're the difference. There's not another you. You are unique. And guess what? There's millions of people out there that are going to identify with you. Who you are, what your experience, what you're all about. There's going to be millions of people who are going to identify with you and trust you and feel comfortable about who you are. That's a major part of building your brand. Brand is something we'll talk a lot about because it's one of the biggest issues of this whole thing. But starting here, you are part of that difference. Don't overlook that. Now when you add that to what is your product, what is your niche, you may have a product that is completely unique or different than other products in its product niche. And if so, know what they are, know why that is, and know how to make your case for that without getting in anybody's face. You're stating the difference and establishing value. And every time you point out what's the difference, you're associating a value with that. This can be I can't tell you how many hours I invested in training to try to make this point with the people I was working with, so that that every time they brought up a value issue or a point about what's the difference, there was a value associated with it, and not just ramble on and miss that point. It's a big deal. So we'll probably spend a fair amount of time on that ultimately. But what's the difference and where's the value? Very, very important. So what if the product you have is just like everybody else's product? What if you're selling the same product at basically the same price as someone else? Well, you can't avoid that. In all likelihood, that's going to be the case. I don't care what you're selling. There's going to be somebody out there doing what you're doing, and quite likely selling at your price or maybe even a better price. It's not about that. I used to shop at Nordstrom's in Seattle, and not a lot, but I went in there. There were certain things that I went and bought because I knew that they were going to stand behind it. If I bought a pair of shoes and they didn't fit right, I wasn't happy with it when I really put them on the ground and whatever. I knew I could take them back, and there was no question. They just automatically, oh yeah, fine, and they'd trade them out and do whatever I wanted. I'd take them back, trade them out, and do whatever. It was automatic. So there were certain things that I wanted to make sure I was getting what I paid for, and I could count on it. Well, if people know that they can count on you to get what they paid for, and that they have confidence in you and they can trust you, they'll buy what you've got. And they'll go right past other opportunities and offers to buy what you have because they trust you. They get to know you. That's part of your branding. So when you start to select products and you start to really get into this thing, know that there are certain fundamentals that have to be in place. That's one of them. Now I was talking about, in the last video, I was talking about the idea of a core product and then products that go along with that. There are, oh gosh, there's so many ways to approach this. I personally love digital products. I love products that you can access digitally and you don't even have to download, and I really love them when they're subscription model products. If you have a training product, you train someone, goes to the training, they learn what they learn, but they're still going to need tools. And if during that process of the training they recognize the tools they're going to need and they acquire those other tools, they're investing along the way, and you 24/7, automatic. You didn't have to sell a thing. It's just automatic residual income. It just happens on its own. That's kind of a nice deal. So they buy into the core product, and then they assemble other products, and they're going to do it anyway. If you're going to go online, and for example, if you're going to go online and build a business, there's things you're going to need. There's tools you're going to need. You're going to need a autoresponder, something that can send out your emails for you. You're going to need something that can a tool to build your websites. You're going to need domains. You're going to need. There's things you're going to need. Simply straight up, there's products you're going to need. Well, if a person learns what it is they're going to need to do, and they're buying a product to teach them step by step all those things, they're going to purchase all that other stuff that goes along with it. And you don't have to sell it. It's automatic. Just automatic. It happens. The core product and the associate products that go along with it to fulfill and enhance the value of your initial purchase. Making sense? This is a really big deal, and don't skip over this and think that this is oh, I kind of knew that or whatever. Because again, I may be talking to a lot of people who this is their first shot, they're beginners, but I'm also talking to a lot of people that never figured this out and didn't know this, never even occurred to them. It's never too late to go back and learn what you need to learn and put some things in place that are going to be effective, and this is an effective one, very effective. And again, I really love the digital products that can be accessed online, and even when you don't have to download it, that's even better, because to download, when you're downloading a product, you're using resources on your computer. And if you want to maintain the speed and health of your computer, it's nice when you don't have to download everything. So many things. You download some stuff and it comes along with, you ever get this? It comes along with a lot of other things, including quite often malware. So the less you have to download onto your computer, the better off you are. That's just a general thing. The other thing, when you start to look at products online, you have to look at reputable companies. If you're getting into affiliate marketing and you're looking for suppliers of affiliate products, you have to kind of connect and make sure you're getting products that you can rely on. And if you're dealing with physical products that need to be warehoused and handled and shipped and all those kinds of things, you're leveraging against yourself in a sense, because your cost of goods and processing is going to be an additional factor in the process. If you're dealing with a digital product, it actually is much more favorable on return on investment. You're paying less for the product itself and for all the costs associated with that, and more is going toward the process. And that's much better, because within the process is your commissions and you want to make more money. So your cost per customer, I've talked about this before, you've got a customer cost per acquisition, and then you've got a customer value per acquisition. So if now you've acquired a customer, they don't buy just one product, but their value increased when they're buying these other products to go along with it, because they needed it anyway. They're going to buy it from somebody. They might as well buy it from you, and in the process, you might as well make commissions on that. So now your customer value, your per customer value, has increased without having you to lift a finger. That's kind of cool. So this is add-on sales that happen automatically. It's kind of like you go to the grocery store and check out. How many times have you noticed there's all this stuff that you have to pass through? All the garbage magazines and all that kind of stuff, and then there's the candy, and there's the gadgets and the stuff, and all these incentive things, impulse purchases that people buy and whatnot. That adds to the customer value. Well, we're doing the same thing here. It's an old concept. But that's what we want to do, is we want to create a system wherein you've got a firm foundation, everything is built, it's strong, it's going to last, it's going to stand the test of time, and we've got built-in value both in cost per customer acquisition and customer value per customer value. Now, by the way, on this, over time, if you're doing this right, over time your cost per customer acquisition is actually going to be less and less over time, because you got one system that's doing the same thing, wash, rinse, and repeat. It's doing the same thing over and over, basically. And if you can do that and you build on your customer base, the more your customer base becomes strengthened and enhanced, the greater the value of what you're doing in each time you run a campaign. There's more people taking advantage of it, so you get a higher return on the same campaign. Making sense here? So over time, in the big picture, you're doing things to hedge the bet and make sure that you're putting yourself in a favorable place relative to cost per customer acquisition and customer value per customer value in the end result. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that in this particular video. There's going to be lots more to come. I've mentioned The Strangest Secret. If you're not watching that, watch it, and watch it several times. There's so much good information there. It's really solid. So I I love this. I'm having so much fun. I enjoy this. And I hope you're enjoying your day. I hope you're well, and that you can go through, and if you need to review or stop the video and make some notes or whatever you need to do that, because we're laying a foundation here. And if this can work, I love it. That makes me a happy camper. So this is for you, and I thank you. So you have an awesome day, and I will talk to you again very soon. God bless.